At the Denver Animal Shelter are getting crowded. They've had to double up because there's no space for the influx of animals coming in, according to Melanie Sobel, director of Denver Animal Protection.
It's hard. It's hard for the staff, to see the animals pouring in every single day.
She says they saw a 30% increase in intakes of cats and dogs at their shelter from 2019 to 2023. There was also a 92% increase in owner surrenders.
People are losing their homes or having to move into apartments. They can't afford their animal anymore.
Sobel says it's a national problem. Mainly inflation, driving up the cost of living, pet supplies, and veterinary costs.
Our adoptions increased. Everything else increased. Our return to owners increased. So unfortunately, our euthanasia is going to increase simply by the increase in number of animals that come in.
In 2022, 700 cats and dogs were euthanized. Last year, that number jumped to more than 1,200.
It was very saddening, and especially when you feel like you can help.
Sabrina Lou Young was dismissed as a volunteer at the shelter along with her 9-year-old daughter in October after starting there in March.
Because I want people to help, and I want volunteers to do the trainings and go because the dogs need it, but I believe that it can be much better.
She says the shelter told her she violated their confidentiality agreement by posting online about a dog that was euthanized, resulting in her dismissal.
Another volunteer and me, we wanted to adopt her just to give her, a safe haven the last days of her life. But this was kind of like shut down ideas.
Lou Young says volunteers also found a different rescue willing to take in a few dogs on the euthanasia list, but the transfers were denied by the Denver Animal Shelter. She says they also found dog trainers willing to donate their time, but those ideas were also denied.
We had information that this dog was not safe, which is the reason why this dog was euthanized, and the volunteers didn't have access to that information.
Sobel says they only transfer to partner organizations that are Pet Animal Care and Facilities Act or PACFA certified and have been through their vetting process. Similarly, she says trainers also have to be vetted.
But our responsibility as an open admission shelter and government animal control is also public safety. If we determine that an animal is not safe, either to a person or to another animal, we can't in good conscience place that animal out into the community.
She says animals are only euthanized if they're suffering and if their emergency veterinarians can't do anything medically to help.
We're open 7 days a week, so we take any animal that comes to our doors. We do not refuse any animal. Other shelters called limited admission have the luxury to pick and choose which animals they take in.
Sobel says they do everything they can to get a dog or cat placed into a home. She says they're also focusing on proactive things that will prevent animals coming to the shelter in the first place. Sobel says volunteers are their lifeline and they can always use more people to help. There's more information on how you can help these animals on our website, 9news.com.
And we're so grateful for those volunteers and the foster families who take the animals in. It really is heartbreaking to hear this, but as you were saying, they're not putting healthy animals down. It's usually the ones that are suffering or people are at risk with those animals.
Right, and they can't help them. And they really do try their best to do everything they can for these animals. If they're in the shelter for a long time, they place them with a foster family and get them out of the shelter. They even do weekend getaway trips with these animals so they can get out of the shelter and then bring them back for Saturdays and Sundays when those adoptions are happening the most.
It's really one of those situations where you wish you could just wave a magic wand and get everybody a nice home. All right, well, Courtney, thank you. Let's get check your